Advice from the elderly and senior health secrets for longevity with a positive mindset. Welcome to Grand Sage, where the voices of the elderly become wisdom passed down through generations. This video is about something more powerful than medicine, more enduring than genetics, and more transformative than any supplement: the way we choose to live, think, and feel as we age. In this journey, we will deeply explore the essence of advice from the elderly, the true foundation of senior health, and how optimism, mindset, and simple habits are helping millions live longer, happier, and healthier lives. Because aging isn't the end, it's the beginning of deeper understanding. When people think of aging, many picture decline. But what if aging is actually a hidden reservoir of strength? Meet Harold, E7, a retired mechanic in Ohio. Every morning, he wakes up, brews coffee, and writes one sentence: "Today, I will enjoy being alive." He calls it an anchor thought. That one sentence guides his whole day. This is advice from the elderly, not dramatic or complicated, but simple truth, lived consistently. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that perspective alone can extend life expectancy. A hopeful mindset is linked to lower rates of chronic disease, stronger immune systems, and faster recovery. And that mindset is the core pillar of senior health. Because while medication treats symptoms, optimism strengthens the whole system. Let's talk about Mary, 94, living in New Mexico. Mary lost her husband at 62. Instead of withdrawing into loneliness, she enrolled in a painting class. Then yoga. Then, she began teaching beginners, at age 78. "I didn't want to grow old and shrink. I wanted to expand," she said. Her story reflects some of the most important longevity secrets: stay curious, keep moving, and stay connected. When asked what keeps her going with joy, she smiled and said, "A sense of humor, and never saying no to cake." That balance, between lightness and depth, is what makes advice from the elderly both practical and profound. And when older people talk about health, they're not just talking about physical strength. They're talking about mental resilience, the ability to bend, not break. That emotional wisdom is a quiet, often overlooked part of senior health. It doesn't come in a prescription. It's built through patience. There's a saying in Okinawa, where many live past 100. The way you live each day is the way you live your life. Here are 5 rituals shared by elders across America that support healthy aging and lasting vitality. Morning sunlight and deep breathing resets your circadian rhythm and boosts natural vitamin D. Gratitude journaling, proven to reduce cortisol and increase happiness. Walking 30 minutes a day improves circulation, balance, and cognition. Eating slowly and with others counters isolation and aids digestion. Laughing with someone, because joy is medicine, too. Each of these may seem small, but over time, they shape our biology. They strengthen senior health through behavior, not just medicine. And they reflect the consistency emphasized in nearly every piece of advice from the elderly. Healthy aging isn't about big events, it's about small wins, every day. Let's talk about reality. In a 20-year study at Yale, participants with a positive view of aging live 7.5 years longer on average than those with a negative view. Why? Because your mindset changes your biochemistry. Optimists sleep better. They have fewer signs of inflammation. They take more action for their own health. The connection between optimism and senior health is no longer folklore. It's biology. And that perfectly matches what generations of elders have told us. The mind is the first medicine. This is why advice from the elderly often sounds spiritual, even though it's deeply scientific. Rest when you're tired, but never because you're bored. Forgive quickly. It lightens the heart. Don't rush. Nothing good ever happens in a hurry. These aren't just poetic lines. They're practical. They affect brain function. They support the immune system. They build a long life. We interviewed over 30 people aged 85 and up across 12 states. Each was asked the same question. If you could speak to your 40-year-old self, what would you say? Here are some of the most memorable answers. Worry less. Worry never helped me live longer. It only made the years feel heavier. Say no faster. Boundaries are kindness. Keep one friend who knows all your secrets. It's cheaper than therapy. Get rid of stuff. Make space for people. The only thing you'll remember at 90 are the simple days you rushed through at 40. Each of these is a form of advice from the elderly, not written in books, but lived truths. These words go beyond health checklists. They touch on a deeper kind of senior health, including peace of mind, fulfillment, and emotional legacy. Let's be clear, aging is changing. People in their 70s today are starting businesses, writing books, climbing mountains. They're on social media, mentoring younger generations, and reshaping the cultural image of aging. But with opportunity comes challenge. Loneliness is rising. Family structures are shifting. Digital technology can isolate as much as it connects. That's why advice from the elderly today must evolve, not just to preserve tradition, but to stay relevant. So what does modern senior health look like from 2025 onward? It's not just about step counts or diet trends. It's about knowing how to use technology to stay connected, joining community to replace shrinking families, retiring with purpose, not just waiting in stillness, emotional wellness as a real health metric, and above all, teaching the young to respect aging not as a burden, but as a gift. Aging is not an illness. It is a masterpiece in progress. And those who have lived through war, suffering, healing, and rebirth, they carry a map that younger generations desperately need. Advice from the elderly is not outdated. It's timeless. Senior health is not just a personal mission, it's a cultural responsibility. At Grand Sage, our mission is to amplify those voices, to record the story, share the truth, and pass the light forward. So if this video gave you something to reflect on, something that made you smile, or even just one sentence you'll carry into tomorrow, leave your thoughts in the comments below. What's the best advice from the elderly you've ever received? Which habit will you start today? And don't forget to subscribe to Grand Sage for weekly inspiration, real stories, and the kind of wisdom you can't Google. Because in the end, living long isn't just about years, it's about living well, together. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Don't forget to leave your comment below. And subscribe to support the channel. Thank you, love you.